Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. We have been seeing some really distressing images once again coming out of Assam this week. Every time you think India has finally got over communal clashes, got over rioting, another incident comes that reminds us of just how brutal we can be to one another. Really distressing images, and behind that, perhaps a history that we do need to go inside and see whether that violence and that trouble is going to spread, or can we finally get over it at some point. What are some of the reasons behind what's been happening in Assam? Is illegal migration what the real problem is? Are the factors elsewhere which need to be looked at? And we've got a panel with some of the top experts, I can say, and representing every range, the entire range of opinion, I have to say, on the subject. I'm going to start off by welcoming Samajal Bhattacharya, who's the advisor of the ASU, All Assam Students Union. Great to have you with us. Kamal Farooqi, who's a member of the Muslim Personal Law Board. Rahul Narvikar, who's the leader of the Shiv Sena. Hilaluddin Chaudhary, who's a member of the Central Secretariat of the AIUDF, Badri Rajmal's party, who represents them here in Delhi, very closely associated with all the issues that are there in Assam. Mr. Hemendra Narayan, it's a pleasure and honor to have you with us. You, I think, were one of the people who was there in Nelly at the time when the Nelly massacre was taking place. Unfortunately, you were there at the time when the Nelly massacre was taking place. So we'll ask you about that and maybe take some of the lessons from that. Harsh Mander, social worker who's done a lot of work in Nelly and also in the area, as indeed as Mr. N.D. Pancholi, a human rights lawyer who has a really deep understanding of the issues that lie behind what's been happening. Before we go any further, let's just quickly bring ourselves up to date with all that's happened in Assam in the last 24 hours or so.
This is the second visit of the Prime Minister to the state in the last 3 weeks. First time he came for flood-affected people. 24 lakh people across the state have been displaced because of floods. And now, because of ethnic conflict in Lower Assam's 4th district, known as Bodoland, this ethnic strife which has been going on since 20th, though the trigger started on 6th of July, more than 3 lakh people have been displaced. 52 people have died. Now, what is the Prime Minister going to do about it? They have drawn up a coordination committee to address the issues relating to the ethnic conflict. But this conflict goes back decades. It started in the mid-90s. In contemporary history, though it has a historical account to it, the narrative of this conflict is in various layers. At the heart of this dispute lies the struggle for land and survival. Neighbors have turned into enemies, and refugees or internally displaced people from this area in relief camps from the 90s have still been languishing there. So while the Prime Minister says that it is a blot in the face of the nation, he says he's saddened, but the people out here are waiting for some immediate steps to contain the situation right now and for some long-term solutions to be able to bring about lasting peace in the flooded plains of Bodoland. With camera person Nirmal Sarkar, in Kokrajhar, Kishla Bhattacharya for NDTV.
Samajal, what are you hearing?
The country should know the present Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Tarun Gogoi, has failed because he is holding the Home Ministry portfolio in the state. And the Home Minister had the information about the situation of Kokrajhar district. First at Kokrajhar, now it is spreaded to Dhubri and Sirang district, in 3 districts. So the Home Ministry, they had the information about that incident, but he could not take any appropriate step to prevent that incident.
Hilaluddin, you must be getting some sense of what happened.
2 of the minority student leaders are killed by the BLT former cadres. Few days after, numbers of the former BLT cadres, they went to a village to attack the people who belongs to minority communities, and 4 of them been captured and killed. It is not that counter attack. Number of the BLT former cadres they went. So what I, with emphasis to point out the fact that it is not that is a clash between the Boros and minorities. It is a clash between illegal immigrants and Boros. It is a planned, deliberate and designed way of the former BLT cadres to kill and compel the minority people to leave their places, that is BTC.
Mr. Narayan, is that what you are hearing as well?
This has happened thrice with Santals, thrice with Muslims, immigrant Muslims or whatever. So there has been cycle of violence, and we cannot just say that it is because of The present one, the violence is there. The violence is very much there in the borderland.
Okay, the violence is there, it's simmering and it keeps coming up. Harsh, you've done a lot of work there.
Absolutely. I've been going back, for the last 15 or 20 years, you've been having attacks by militant Bodo militants on both the Adivasis, who are the descendants of the tea gardens, and to Bengali Muslims, as a process of ongoing ethnic cleansing, and people have been pushed into camps. People have been living in camps for the last 15 years and longer, large numbers who are still afraid to go back. I really feel terrified about, the 2 lakh, 3 lakh people who are now out in camps. How many of them will be able to return? And the failure of the Chief Minister, the failure of the administration, I think, is there to some extent for a specific incident of this kind. Surely they should have acted. But I think there has to be a larger responsibility that everybody has to take for creating an environment of ongoing hatred against ethnic groups. And I think that we need to take that larger picture into understanding what happened.
Right. Mr. Pancholi, what do you think happened here?
Violence, some people say it is due to illegal migrants. Some people say it is some other disputes, land disputes. But there must, unless there is some inquiry by judicial process, then only then truth will come out.
All right. I just want to turn to Shiji, to the student from the Bodo areas. You've been hearing a lot about, what are the reports that you've got?
See, so far we have around 92 relief camps wherein the Bodo people have been shifted, and then 1,50,000 people have been affected. And in the Dhubri district, which is wherein the Muslims are in majority, wherein there are no Bodo houses left so far, they're all torched down completely. And I would like to carry forward that it's not because that Bodos are killing. It's been said by the gentleman there from the AIUDF. I would like to say that it's not Bodos killing the Muslims. It's been like the trouble has been there since 40 years, or since there has been partition. So from there itself, there has been a continuation of such kind of clashes. And there was just a spark which took place. And at the moment, I would like to say that see, the rehabilitation of the people, which is the peak sowing season of the Bodo people, and depends that 97% of the population are dependent on agrarian this thing. So they have to be rehabilitated in a very faster manner.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app, fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.